Well, starting off with the Vanguard newspaper, and it leads with the Independent National Electoral Commission. The big question about who will be the next head of INEC. Well, this is what you have. New INEC chair for Council of States preview today. Tinubu to present nominee at today's meeting. Amukpito in top contention, screened. President in firm control of nomination process. And you see how politicians tried to force choice of nominee. APC's chairman's institutional input. So I'm sure you're wondering who is Amukpito, because that's the name right there on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. So not to rush into conclusion, it's still for preview. So maybe not dwell on that as much, but the person being spoken about is Professor Josh Ojo Amukpito. We understand he's a senior advocate of Nigeria. We can go on and on about that, but again, it's still, well, just let's call it a rumor at this point, so we don't dwell too much on it. But that's just a preview of what is being expected from the Council of States meeting, and we'll of course get to see. But you know, just below the big picture on the front page, you see court orders arrest of ex-INEC chairman Mahmood Yakubu for contempt. That came as quite a shocker yesterday. People wondering, come on, he just left office. What exactly is going on? So we understand that the court, Justice Adefumilola Demiadeniyi of the Federal High Court sitting in Osogbo, that's the Osun State capital, ordered the arrest and imprisonment of Professor Mahmood Yakubu for what? For disobeying the court order. And that's just, what, a day or so after he stepped down. The order was delivered before he stepped aside, actually, and stated that he failed to implement a court order to release national officers of the Action Alliance on its website. So it's a very interesting development, the court ordering the arrest of ex-INEC chairman Mahmood Yakubu. We'll see how that plays out. But this is about that case involving the political party. That's the Action Alliance, and it's not about any of the elections, okay? Just in case you're wondering, it's about Action Alliance, and it came from Osogbo, the Osun State capital. So that's a look at the front page of the Vanguard newspaper today. A couple of more stories there, but over to you, Bukola.
Yes, I have This Nigeria up next, Kadi, and it also focuses on security. On its front page, Senate angry over Kwara killings, summons IGP, defense and army chiefs, lawmakers decry carnages, 142 kidnappings in 12 months, demand permanent military base, accuse security agencies of reactive response. And Kari, speaking of Kwara killings, we were asking, you know, a bit strongly 2 weeks ago when we had that conversation with the Chief of Staff to the Kwara State government, whether or not there is a permanent, army base in the areas where the killings were being carried out in Kwara State. This is the answer, perhaps, to the question: if lawmakers are demanding a permanent military base, accusing security agencies of reactive response. And I recall I did ask if he could guarantee to the people of, what's the name of that community now, Ode or something, a fellow local government area to be precise, their security even after those killings were carried out. And we didn't quite get a clear answer. So the concern is continuing. But we just hope that it will not be one-off, such that we're not back here at this table speaking about another round of attacks in Kwara or in any other part of Nigeria's north central or northeast, or even in any part of the country. But that's it from the big story. But there are other stories on the front page of This Nigeria as well. Take a look at the story at the bottom strip. NAS scrutinizes Tinubu's $2.3 billion loan. Economist 1, Nigeria sinking deeper into fiscal trap as debt servicing swallows national revenue. There you have it. We should have this conversation in the coming days as Nigeria's debt pushes closer to 150 trillion naira. That's it from the front page of this Nigeria.
Well, The Guardian almost follows up on that, and it's about the World Bank conversation, which we brought to you earlier on. The Guardian newspaper has a World Bank story as a big one. Nigeria's reforms yielded stability, not relief for poor. On page 6, poverty has surged since 2019 and is projected to stabilize only in 2026 with faster growth and lower inflation. So you see pictures of the president and the minister of finance and all of those figures, some of the recommendations, quite simple. Reduce food inflation, because that's a component of inflation that a lot of people may not see once they see the big inflation figure. But food inflation is a real deal, and that's a major driver, actually. So reduce food inflation, improve the use of public resources for development, improve the use of public resources for development, and strengthen the social safety net. Again, it's not so much to ask for. If we look at the figures and say the figures are good, we should be able to look at the people and say the people are good as well. Else, we just elevate the figures above real people who need this real intervention. So the big story there is worth chewing on. And again, as I said, it's not so much to have government officials put this on their walls. This should be the goal. Get 139 million Nigerians out of poverty. So they wake up every day, and that is what they wake up to. I'll just take one more from the front page of the Guardian newspaper as we wind down right now. You see, 17 LGAs under attack, says Benue Emergency Agency. So when we talk insecurity, these are the real issues. 17 local government areas under attack, says Benue Emergency Agency. So something again to pay attention to and ensure that we do not get carried away with all of the back and forth. We have a lot of work to do right here. And that's it for the Guardian newspaper. Caller.
And we have one more to touch on, and that is New Telegraph. New Telegraph chooses to trail that story from the House of Representatives yesterday, which rejected wholly the U.S. narrative about genocide in Nigeria. Listen to this mischaracterization. Reps rejects U.S. claim of Christian genocide in Nigeria. And there are a few riders there. Reaffirms nation's constitutional protection for freedom of religion. Freedom of religion beliefs moves to review varsity admission age policy, vows to recover $9 billion lost yearly to illegal mining. And those are the other considerations from the House of Reps yesterday. But at the top of the big story, you'll find some other equally important stories, and one of which is up for consideration on the program today. Shelve your proposed strike. FG begs ASU, and you see there the Minister of Education says government working to address issues. So how satisfactory is this to ASU? And we're going to be asking all of those questions and others related to ensuring stability in Nigeria's ivory towers, such that we change enduringly that narrative of instability and constant strikes. We really hope that that doesn't happen yet again. But there's another one here right beside the ASU report. Cocoa farmers in Nigeria, others still trapped in poverty despite record price increase. That's a report that you might want to read. You'll find it on the inside pages, page 29 to be precise. And so if, a ton truck of cocoa is, estimated to be in the realm of millions of naira, while cocoa farmers are still in poverty, does this speak to questions of, storage? We talk often about post-harvest losses in Nigeria's agriculture sector, which of course also diminishes what could have been, amounting to improved revenues and indeed food security on a long term in Nigeria. So this is a very critical story, important to Nigeria's agriculture sector. But there are other stories. You might want to do the honors by picking up a copy of the New Telegraph newspaper this morning. Hardy.
Another important point you touched on, that's agriculture. So much wealth there. It's not utilized as much, but it's great to see some work being done in terms of processing and ensuring that all of the value chains exist here. I see a lot of young Nigerians actually who are now interested in farming. And yet again, what should government do? Encourage them, ensure that all of the factors are right, are conducive enough, so we can feed not just ourselves, not just even the sub-region, but the world, right? So there you have it, a look at the front pages today. And when we return, we'll be starting off with an issue that concerns everyone, and that's power. And we also have the president of ASU, the Academic Staff Union of Nigerian Universities, joining us on the show to speak about this impending strike if government doesn't do anything. The Minister of Education had appealed, but what is the state of things? We'll find out on the show. Please stay with us, we'll be right back.